The bus was nearly empty, except for him staring. His eyes never blinked, never softened, never broke away. He sat 3 rows behind, leaning just far enough into the dim light that his face was visible, yet not enough to be fully revealed. The glow of the street lamps cut across his cheekbones in sharp slices, like someone carving light into a mask. Every time the bus jolted forward, his head tilted slightly, as if following the breath of the person sitting near the front. The girl gripped the edge of her seat tighter. Her reflection in the bus window looked pale, almost translucent, washed out by the flicker of fluorescent bulbs overhead. She told herself not to look back again, but the weight of his stare pressed into the back of her skull, thick and heavy, like invisible fingers wrapping around her neck. Her stop was coming, and she already knew he would follow. Her name was Lena, a 20-year-old student barely surviving the pressure of endless classes and late-night study sessions. She often rode this bus because it was cheap, quiet, and usually empty by the time it wound through the outskirts of town. But tonight felt different. The silence inside the bus was not comforting. It was suffocating. The usual hum of tired commuters was gone. No soft coughs, no shuffling of bags, just the hiss of brakes and the faint whine of the engine straining uphill. And him, always him. She clutched her bag tighter against her chest. The straps cut into her shoulders, but the pressure gave her something real to hold on to, something that wasn't watching her. She wanted to convince herself she was overreacting, that maybe he was just another tired man staring blankly ahead. But his eyes told a different story. There was intent behind them. Hunger, maybe, or recognition, as though he knew her. The thought made her heart beat faster. Lena had always been haunted by the feeling of being watched. Ever since childhood, strange shadows seemed to cling to her, following just a step too close, vanishing when others turned their heads. When she was 11, she woke one night to find her bedroom door slowly creaking open on its own. Her parents dismissed it as imagination, but she never forgot the sound of breath in the darkness. Slow, deliberate, not her own. In high school, whispers followed her down hallways. Sometimes classmates would turn suddenly, frowning, asking if she had just called their name. But Lena hadn't spoken a word. She learned to keep quiet, to shrink into corners, to carry her unease like a second skin. At college, loneliness grew heavier. Her friends had drifted away, too busy or unwilling to put up with her odd habits, triple-checking locked doors, avoiding mirrors at night, refusing to walk home alone after dark. She had tried to shake it, to laugh at herself, but every time she felt those unseen eyes return, the laughter froze in her throat. Tonight, on that nearly empty bus, it wasn't a shadow or a whisper haunting her. It was flesh and bone, and it was staring with a patience that promised she wouldn't escape so easily. The bus screeched to her stop. Her heart pounded as she pulled the yellow cord, the bell chiming like a death knell. She rose, forcing her legs to steady, and stepped down into the cold night air. Behind her, heavy footsteps echoed. The doors hissed closed, but not before he slipped out onto the pavement, trailing several paces behind. The street was deserted. No cars, no late-night walkers, no safety in numbers. Only the rhythm of her shoes clicking against the pavement, and his echoing behind. She turned down a narrower street where the lampposts grew sparse. The darkness pressed closer, like walls closing in. Her breath fogged in the air, sharp and frantic. Every instinct screamed at her to run. But she remembered something her grandmother once whispered during one of those nights when Lena couldn't sleep, terrified of shadows moving in her room. Never let fear see you break. It feeds on that. So Lena kept her pace steady, her shoulders stiff, her face forward. But her ears strained with every step behind her, every scrape of his shoe dragging across the pavement. The man's pace quickened. So did hers. The street narrowed further, lined with houses that looked asleep, curtains drawn, windows blank like blind eyes. She wanted to scream, but who would hear? Who would come? Her hand slid into her bag, trembling as she searched for her phone. But when she pulled it out, the screen glared back at her. Dead. She cursed under her breath, gripping it like a useless weapon. Then, without warning, she heard something else. Not just footsteps. A whisper, low, rasping, threading through the silence. "I know you." Her blood ran cold. She didn't dare look back, but every nerve in her body burned with the certainty that his mouth was close enough for the words to brush her skin. Her grandmother's warning echoed again. Fear feeds. Don't break. Lena's grip tightened on her bag. She kept walking. Each step became a test, her legs threatening to collapse under the weight of dread. But she persisted, jaw clenched, breath steadying. The whisper came again. "Don't pretend. I see you." Something inside her snapped. For years, she had run from shadows, from whispers, from eyes she couldn't prove were there. Tonight, she realized the truth. Running only gave them power. Fear was the leash, and she had been tugged along all her life. Lena stopped walking. The sudden silence cut like a blade. The man halted too, his footsteps choking to a stop behind her. Slowly, she turned her head, not enough to fully face him, but enough that he saw her profile. Her voice came low, steady, carrying a chill that wasn't hers alone. "You've been following me all night, but you're not the first, and you won't be the last." Her words surprised even herself. They didn't sound like her voice. They sounded older, heavier, like an echo from all the nights she'd endured before. For the first time, his eyes faltered. His steps shuffled back. "Who are you?" he muttered. And Lena whispered the words that would etch themselves into her memory forever. "I am what fear creates when it runs out of places to hide." The man's breathing grew erratic. His stare, once so sharp and certain, flickered with something new. Doubt. He looked at her as if he'd just realized she was not prey, but something else entirely. Lena's phone buzzed suddenly in her hand, the black screen flashing to life. A friend's name lit up. Maya. She answered instantly, forcing her voice steady. Maya, I need you to come. Now. The sound of another voice on the line shattered the tension, breaking the invisible tether binding Lena to him. The man stepped back into the shadows, his form dissolving against the night until he was gone. Her friend's headlights appeared minutes later, cutting through the darkness. As Lena slid into the car, her body trembled violently, but her face remained composed. She glanced back once. The street was empty, but she knew emptiness didn't mean safety. As the car pulled away, Lena stared out at the silent houses, the dark windows, the alleys where eyes could still be hiding. She realized something chilling yet powerful. She had not defeated fear. She had become its reflection. Consistency had saved her, not by running, not by screaming, but by refusing to break, by standing when fear wanted her to fall. The night swallowed the street behind her, but its lesson lingered. Fear is a parasite, and the moment you stop feeding it, it starves. For those who listened, for those who watched, Lena's story was not just a warning, it was a weapon. After all, silence is never empty. It always listens. And somewhere, something is still listening now.